Soundstripe. Soundstripe.
Well, welcome, and good evening. Thank you for joining us with My Spouse is My Best Friend. I am your co-host, Nicole.
I am Dr. Green.
And we are excited to be with you tonight. You know, the topic that we're going to discuss tonight is one of my favorites because we get a lot of questions over. Matter of fact, when we started this podcast, we got several requests for us to talk about, drum roll,
Blended families.
blended families. Yes. How to navigate through blending families. And so tonight we want to talk about 4 points onto how to navigate get through a blending family. Excuse me.
So just a little background, we always talk about we have a lot of kids. And so when we say that, we have 5 kids together. Some of them separately and some of them together. So we're going to talk about 4 points of how to navigate the blended family today because it's an important dynamic that you need before if you decide to get remarried or married again and y'all already have kids. And, one is you're building a strong foundation as a couple, creating a healthy relationship with your children, also navigating relationships with ex-partners and extended families, because they come along with it, right? I mean, you can call them baggage all you want to, but the baggage is going to be there regardless. So we have to, navigate that and building new traditions and having a shared family identity. I mean, you might have had an old values or old things that y'all used to do, but new things are good too, and you have to build that. And it's an important part that you need to navigate when you are talking about blended families. So let's go ahead and get into it. First topic, let's talk about building a strong foundation as a couple.
Strong foundation. So we've been talking about since day one on how to build a strong foundation as a couple. And with blended families, it's no exception. So actually, you need to have that united front when you are coming together as husband and wife and building that foundation. Because when you come into a blended family, you're coming in different arenas of backgrounds. And so how do you blend that my history and your history and our kids' history together?
First of all, you have to present a united front, right?
Yep.
There's no division. I know a lot of blended families fail because you try to bring your own traditions and your own values and all that into a new relationship. And it's just not going to work. There has to be that's why we call it blended, right? There has to be some kind of compromise in those. And so you have to discuss with your new husband, a new spouse, what your expectations are as parenting, as a father, as a mother, and how are we going to navigate that? How are we going to blend those things together? So the first part of having a united front is agreeing on what those expectations are and being able to implement those.
Yeah, and I think what's important is, as we know, the hierarchy of a family is it's God, it's your spouse, and then your children. And so I think what we find in some of the couples that we counsel is some of the couples feel like their children should come before their spouse because they're mine and I'm bringing them into the marriage. Well, blended families, again, that's no exception. You should still go by that hierarchy or your house is not going to be in order.
Absolutely not. It's going to be in disarray because you're going to be parenting in 2 different ways. So you have to be able to agree on that. And that's one thing I think helped us in blending our families because we talked about it before we got married because we knew it was going to be an important dynamic. She had a different parenting style than I did. When we first started dating, her kids, they couldn't watch electronics during the week. I'm a techie. I'm IT. So, my daughter, she had phones and tablets and computers, and she was watching TV during the week. And we had to come to a compromise on that, on how we're going to navigate the types of things and kind of blend those and come to a compromise on some of those values that we had in parenting styles.
And then from my perspective, he was very strict on cleanliness and household. And for his daughter,
Oh,
you could
Lord.
thump a quarter off of her bed every single day. And my kids, my mantra is if I don't see it, it's not there. So keep your doors closed, and whatever goes on behind those doors is God bless you. If you can find it, you're good. If you don't come ask me. And so we had to adjust to, again, to our parenting styles of, hey, is this really important? Is this really important? But we wanted to make sure that we were united with the kids and treating them equally. So then that flexibility for the kids. So some liked it and some don't. But again, treating every kid, their children, the same.
I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, I think that's a very important in a lot of our counseling sessions that come up is treating the kids equally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I know they're mine, right? You know, that was at the time, Caitlin, my daughter, was my only girl, right? And so that is my child, or you know, that I was used to her. And then I have three other kids coming in from a different relationship, and you have to treat them equally. I know it's hard because that is your child, but you have to make that decision before you get married, because if you treat each child differently, you're going to start, when we talk about creating a healthy relationship, those healthy relationships will not foster, because kids notice.
Right.
They notice that they're being treating not equally. They notice you favoring your own child, and that's something I decided and we decided not to do in our blended family, is to treat our child equally. I'm sorry, treat them unequally coming into the marriage. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Mm-hmm. So that takes us into creating healthy relationships with the children. And so again, we prioritize our communication, our mutual support, and we set expectations as a unit, but we also had that same expectations for our children.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So creating a healthy environment healthy relationship with the children is, like I said, I'm coming into three, she's coming into one, different parenting styles, different ways of life, and also different other parents, right? And so you see all these TV shows where you have your stepchildren. You're not my daddy, you're not my mama, kind of thing. And that's just what it is. It's TV, because you can get around that. And when you come into a blended family, you can't come impose your parenting styles on a child straight off and expect them to respect you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say respect, but expect them to follow those rules, because, one of them, Davion, I think it was like 12, right? So he has 12 years of experience under different parenting style. I can't impose my parenting style on him and expect them to just to conform. And I didn't. And I also didn't try to be his father, right? I tried to be a father figure, and I tried to guide him. I tried to love him through his things. I also let him know that I was always there for him. I'm not trying to replace his dad, because his dad is his dad, right? And I'm there as what we call, I come from a blended family too. We call my sisters call my dad their bonus dad, because it is a bonus, and it can be a bonus. It doesn't have to be looked at as something negative, as a step parent being something negative. It can be a bonus because you have an extra parent, or an extra person that loves you and cares for you. And I really, really wanted to foster that in our marriage with our kids. And so I call them my kids, is because that's exactly what it is. And when I said I come from a blended family as well, I have three, a brother and two sisters, and they are from a blended family. And so one thing that we did not do, and you can ask any of them today, is we do not use step in our families. There's no such thing. Either you're not or you are. And if you say that to one of us and you say, well, that's your stepbrother. No, it's not. I don't know what you're talking about. Because that's my brother. That's who I grew up with, and I'll do anything for them. And so that's one thing that we took out, and one thing that I brought into our relationship is, those are my kids. Those are my daughters. Those are my sons. And I treat them just as the same. I do the same thing I do for Caitlin as I do for Davion or Precious or Angel. And I love them all the same. And I made sure that they knew that.
Yeah. And what I liked is it happened naturally. So you started building that relationship with my biological children way before we got married. Because I remember when we started dating, even before we started meeting the kids, I was nervous about you meeting Davion because he was older. He was a mama's boy. And so I was unsure about the relationship. But when you guys met in person, I didn't know that you had already reached out and established a rapport with him before meeting him in public. And so when you finally met in person, it was like, oh, hey, what's going on? Thank you for the advice you given me. And I was shocked. And so, but you let that relationship happen naturally. You let him come to you. You let him start the conversations and ask what he wanted to ask from you.
Yeah. And, and throughout our marriage, my role and her role was just to love them through it, right? Like I said, we're not replacements. We see each other as bonuses, a bonus mom and a bonus father. And they knew that. And I hope they know that. And I think they do. But it's very important. I think that really made our blended family successful in those ways.
Shout out to our tribe.
So silly.
Well, next, let's talk about relationship with ex-partners and extended families.
Oh my God.
No, for real. No, we are a village. When I say we are a tribe, I mean we are a tribe. And so our relationship with the kids' other parents is workable. It's manageable. I know there's a couple times where we've all been in the same room together. We've all been in the same location. And people are like, are y'all doing that Will and Jada thing? No, we are all adults and we all love our kids. And so even though our marriage or our relationship didn't work out, we work together for our common goal, and that's to raise our kids.
And again, you see the cliche on these shows. And I hate some of these shows that have blended families. They show the parents fighting or infighting, and yeah, you're going to disagree on stuff, but there's a common goal there. You have kids, right? And as a man, and I'm talking from a husband point of view, me and Daylin, her ex-husband, we had a discussion before we got married on those types of things. It was great that we knew each other from the past when we were in middle school and high school, but we were adults now. We grew and we changed and whatnot. But he knew my character and I knew his character, and we grew to know each other. We had a conversation on how to navigate that, and he loved his girls, and I loved his girls, and he respected that, and I knew my place. Right? I'm not trying, like I said, wasn't trying to be replace him or anything else, and told him that. And he trusted me with his kids in the same household as well. And so we got along great as far as parenting our kids. I mean, I can remember there's sometimes where, we would have to discipline, one of the kids or whatnot. And he would come over to our house and we would sit on the couch together and as a united front, discipline our kids or talk to them or walk them through or whatnot together. And our kids saw that there was no infighting. It's not, I didn't like, so there was, they couldn't play, they couldn't play us against each other.
Because, they tried. They tried.
Because they knew that, I had a good, he had my number and and I had his. I text him, he would text me. So, I mean, it's an important dynamic that you have to do. You got to put everything else aside, put your differences aside, and remember what's important in the relationship when it comes to those kids.
And for full transparency, there was times where there were situations that was going on with Caitlin that I disagreed with, but her mom and her dad, they discussed it. And so again, as that bonus parent, I'm relying on the foundation that I built with my husband to understand. He hears what I'm saying, but he also has to deal with her mom and do what's right and what's best for the kids. And so again, as bonus parents, we might not always get our way, or we might not always see or get what we want to get, or see what am I trying to say? We might not get what we want. I'll just put it that way. But we have to rely on our spouses and that front that we have created with them to know that they're maintaining what we build in the foundation for our family. And so what we hear from a lot of people is, well, we don't get along with their ex. Well, do you have to get along with the ex, or do you have to do what's right for the child? That's what it all boils down to, is what is right for the child. So there's been a couple times where I had to step back because I have an opinion and let him take the lead, because in essence it is his biological child.
Yeah, and I'll just point over again. In some of the relationships that we've counseled, we've noticed that a lot of it comes from the cliches and everything that they see in books and movies, that they have to not like the other parent, or the other parent doesn't like that because they've seen the same thing. And you just have to get around that, and you have to talk through it. It's just not worth it. And it's a lot easier on your kids, on you, and everything else. And I think it's a little different for us because all five of our kids lived with us under one household, and so we had to make sure that the other parents were included. Um, and that came with holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and birthdays and stuff, and how we're going to split those, because things, sometimes they cross paths, and that came with different events. Who's going to attend this event? And it was never like, well, if you go, well, if he comes, I'm not going to go. We were all there as a united front, as an extended family. The other family and all the families came together. And you should see some of the events that we've had for our kids, because, like I said, my extended family is the same way, or thinks the same way. And so they support her biological children, just like they support their grandchild. They came out, your family came out, you have Dana's family come out, and it's like, oh my God, you have like 40 people at one event, and they just feel so loved. And it's not about, all the other stuff, it's just about them. And just to see some of the smiles on their face and is gratitude enough when you do it successfully.
And I think that stems from, because again, they saw us and for what we did as united front, as that husband, as that wife. So they knew there wasn't any penetration. So there wasn't any whispers or we're going to do this and we're that. They knew, because we have a common name of Jan. They knew Jason and Nicole. They are about their stuff, and they are about their kids. They're about their families. And so we held that we never entertained anything else. And so I think with having that attitude, I think that trickled down to the extended family. And so, if there was any disjointment, that would have also trickled down. And so we wouldn't have been a family unit. So we wouldn't be able to take family vacations together and attend different activities for the kids together. And so I think it started with us, with our attitude towards our blended family. And I think that trickled down to everyone, just like for your situation of you growing up, you saw the effects of your parents and what they went through, blending their family, and you brought that into our family.
It's funny because we always make fun. We have these big old parties at our house sometimes, and you'll see a room full of exes, and we're all getting along. And people, they find it funny because you're like, why is he down there talking to your ex? That made me nervous. Why did it make you nervous? So, and it's just funny, but it extends, like you said, down because they see something different than what they see on TV or what they see, or like I said, the cliches. They see me down there talking to the biological father, and laughing or talking or whatnot. And it's funny that one person did say it made me nervous.
Yeah,
and I'm like, why?
Why are you nervous?
why are you nervous? But we've created that kind of dynamic, and from the get go. And like I said, it's all about those kids. Most of the time, we're talking about the kids. Every once in a while, we'll talk about something outside of kids football or whatnot. But it started with making sure that the kids were front foremost, and that everything was benefiting them.
Yep. And then let's go into new traditions and shared family identity. So 18 years, they don't go away. Your extended family, the ex-partners, the bonus kids, they don't go away. That matter of fact, we keep trying to get them out the house, and they keep coming back into the house. And so we want to, now that some of our kids have transitioned into adulthood, there's traditions that we started as they were kids that they're still doing as an adult. And so for like Christmas, we have a tradition, the way we open up Christmas gifts. There's the dishes that we cook for Christmas. We have a big Christmas party. That's some of our traditions, and that keeps growing and growing and growing. So we've built traditions as a blended family. So we've taken things that we did separately, and we've created new memories for our children together.
Yeah, some of those, we have the kids, they used to do movie nights and get together and buy popcorn and have the whole family together. That was new for them. Vacations. We taking our kids. I mean, we just came back from Colorado, I think 2 years ago, just to go see the snow with all the kids, and made sure that they've been to Cancun. They've been, I think, oh my God, I think we've traveled a lot with them to build those type of memories, build memories together as a family. And so now they see each other as a family. Even them, even our, my daughter and their biological children, they're really close. And they see each other as sisters, and they're like me and my sisters and brothers. You're not my step. You are my sister, and I love you like a sister, and I'm gonna do for you like my sister. And building those new family traditions and having that time together really helped foster that and made things a lot easier in building this family.
Yeah, and I think for me, the most important thing is we have fun together. I mean, even from the first time that we said, "Hey, we did a big bang. We're gonna take all the kids and we're gonna go somewhere." I think we went go-kart riding or something. So from that day forward, we just have fun. And even if we have to laugh at ourselves, like when we first met, I made some turkey burgers that was disgusting, and the kids thought that was so hilarious.
That was the day I knew I was going to be cooking every day. Oh, we should start opening up boxes of macaroni and cheese.
Don't tell all my secrets. Don't tell all my secrets.
Yeah.
But again, it's all about having fun as a family, and just because again, we're in this for the long haul. The kids don't go away; they just multiply, and then you have to deal with more of them, like for grandkids and such. And so, just have fun. And for your spouses, this is teamwork. What I always tell him is, you tackle the East and I'll tackle the West, and we'll be back to back along the way. So I don't have to worry about what's going on behind my back, because I know you have me.
Yep. And that came down with building the foundation. And we don't want to sit here and say it was all easy.
No.
We came a long way to where we are today, because there was a lot of speed bumps, right? There's a lot of things we had to navigate, but doing all these things, that building the foundation, creating healthy relationships, navigating those relationships with the ex-partners really helped us get through it and get to where we are today. So I don't want to sit here and say, it was easy, but it's not. It's going to be patience and prayer. And as long as you keep God first, right? As long as you keep Him first and you stay prayed up and stay as a unit, not up front, and keep that structure where you have God, you and your spouse, and then your children, I guarantee you that it will come out all right, as long as you keep those values close to your heart.
Yeah. So I'd say be patient, be intentional, and be wise on how you build or navigate through blending your family.
Absolutely. So that's our 4 points today, is our golden nuggets. So let us know if you have any questions. You can, of course, like and subscribe, or you can get on our website and shoot us any questions, and we'll answer you back. But this is one of our favorite subjects, and our family is very important to us.
We could keep talking, but we won't.
Yeah, so I'll let you close.
All right. Well, again, don't forget to like and subscribe. As my wonderful husband said, if you have any other tips and tricks that you'd like to share with others about blending your families, or if you want to tell a story, do that in the comments below. Otherwise, I think that's all we have for today.
All right. Well, thank y'all for joining.
Bye.
See you next week.